My more memorable things about Rocky Pearson was, well, first of all, we were city champs that year, and I was a shortstop, and Dickie Harpold was who teaches here at Howe, was the second baseman. And remember this one game we were playing against Southport, and all of a sudden Coach Pearson stands up and says, "My God, there's a car rolling down the hill." And if you know anything about Ellenberger Park, that's where we played our game, the parking lot's up on top of the hill. And sure enough, here came a car rolling down the hill, and then he said, "My God, it's my car." And so kind of remember that about Rocky Pearson. And I think maybe we were the last year that he coached baseball.
Well, that's pretty much the end of our program. I hope you'd enjoyed the story of Howe. Behind me, a lot of people are working very hard to set up for the final graduation, which is tonight, for the class of 1995. I'm afraid I'm addressed a bit more casually than for appearing on television, but I've been packing books and materials all day. Before we finish our program, there are a number of people I want to thank. First of all, I did not compose the script entirely myself. Most of the information came from two written histories of the school. Mr. Sharp and his staff made a history of the first 10 years of Howe from about 1938 to 1948. Much of that information from the script I got straight from their copy. Also, Mrs. Laverne Coffin, an English teacher here, composed a history from 1938 to 1976 with her English 2G classes. Without those two efforts, I could not have possibly created this project. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Walker, the principal of Howe High School, for giving me the opportunity to create this video history. Mr. Bob Berry, vice principal, came up with the idea for this project. I'd like to also thank a student, Kenny Burnett, who knew more about the technical aspects of putting this kind of thing together than anybody else here at school. In general, I'd like to thank all of the hundreds of dedicated staff members who have given so much of their time unselfishly over the years to all the students and families here in Irvington and around Indianapolis. I'd like to thank all the parents who have supported their children when they attended Howe High School and supported us, the faculty, as we worked with them. And finally, I'd like to thank all of the students who ever went through the halls of Howe High School. You're the ones who created all of the stories that ever went on here. They're going to lock the doors to this building in just a couple of days. But I hope that you lock the memories of Howe High School in your hearts and minds forever. Thank you, and so long.
And symbolism at Howe High School. On the front of the grand facade, banners were placed representing each graduating class since 1941. For students and teachers, emotions ran high.
Combination of sadness and excitement. I've been assigned to tech, and I'm an adaptable person, but I'll miss this.
For the last time, a Howe graduating class processed down these steps. The meaning was not lost on parents, many of whom graduated from here themselves.
5 years from now, society will realize that closing Howe was a big mistake. 10 years from now, when we are all settled down in our careers and settled down with families, that's when society will really see what products from Howe High School are like.
We need to remember that even though there are years of memories, secrets, and good times here, this is a building of brick and mortar.
And high atop the bricks and mortar stood a lone bugler. Taps followed by the unplugging of the Howe Tower clock. 7:45, forever frozen as the moment Howe High School was no more. At Thomas Carr Howe High School, Jim Parsons, 6 News.